The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. We start with SPY, and again, we look at Friday, and what a beautiful, beautiful day. You see that nice dip followed by strong buying to the end of the day. Going to Qs, we look at tech, very similar action of what we saw there, bouncing back into the end of the day. Now, going into this week, a lot of questions of can this continue? Can we hold on? Now we look at the economic calendar. There's not a lot going on, but we just had the OPEC meeting, and that OPEC meeting wasn't that great. So OPEC came out a little bit bearish for oil, in my opinion. Okay, in my personal opinion there. Okay. So again, I think oil prices could continue coming down. What does that mean? We go back into oil, and what has oil been one of the biggest indicators for? If oil dips, crude oil specifically, it has led to the decline on inflation, or at least, it's the weakening of inflation continuing to drop, which has been very good for the market, which is again what we're kind of seeing here and here. And the big level coming into play is the 200 weekly SMA on specifically crude oil, which goes all the way back to being held since you got back above in 2021, early January. That's the big signs right now. Now, also going this week, there's nothing really else. There's not a lot of information here, okay? We have some unemployment data, I believe. Yeah, ADP non-farm payrolls. That's going to be coming up on Wednesday. But besides that, there's not a lot of information coming here. There's no inflation data, things along those lines. So unemployment data, that's about it for this week, okay? Now, also, too, this weekend, shout out to NVIDIA. If you don't know who this guy is, he's basically the prophet of AI. This is Jensen Huang. And again, he's the CEO of NVIDIA. And if NVIDIA does anything, they continue to not surprise us. And they announced Rubin, which will be the leader after the Blackwell GPU and what's going to be happening with their next generation platform. And again, the numbers fail to surprise us. And again, when Jensen tells us anything about what's happening with the numbers that they're able to produce, he has not lied over the past year. And so everything that he is saying is coming out as a gospel. So very important to understand this, that they are still taking advantage, still growing. This could lead to some nice upside again on NVIDIA. When I told you guys this past week, on Friday, Thursday, I said the dip, guys, probably one of the better opportunities. I don't see a reason for NVIDIA to really be dropping here. So if you got in, congratulations. Couldn't be really nice. Some names to be looking forward to here as well. AMD, Micron. Micron's a big surprise here, guys. Back over 130. You're flying. So again, semiconductors look good, still look strong, and maybe being led again by our boy Jensen Huang again. But let's go really quickly into this.
Speaking of trading, if you've been using a basic investing app for the past few years, I highly recommend that you step it up and graduate to a better investing platform that can grow with you, which in my opinion is today's sponsor, Moomoo. Like other platforms, Moomoo has a super intuitive user interface, really easy to use, but unlike the other platforms, they have everything that you're using right at your fingertips. Whether it be your analysis tools, up-to-the-minute live data on the markets, what's happening with options data. And it's worth mentioning, while other platforms charge a premium for the quality of data that you're getting here at Moomoo, Moomoo does not charge a dime when it comes to getting live data on the charts. So for any of you that are serious about your investment journey, Moomoo's platform is worth checking out. The link is down below. It helps me out, it helps you out. If you have any questions, comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
So going back into equities and stocks that we're liking, I don't want to do too much on SPY and Qs because I've covered that so much on Friday. But again, holding above 524.5 is very big on the S&P, on SPY specifically. Going into Qs, you just want to hold above 449. That's what you want to hold above there. Those are your two key levels. Above those levels, you look good for continuation. I will say, going into early trading on Monday morning, I'm going to be looking right here at 452, basically get above that level. You're looking for continuation back to the upside. You'll have a little bit of a supply level coming here on the 2 hour, but I don't think it's going to be that big, into 454 as well. So again, some levels I'm watching going into the beginning of this week, but I do think strength will prevail here. Now, going into Friday's video, I told you guys I bought some Lulu stock. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend doing so, just to give you a heads up. I do post a lot of stuff there absolutely free, so make sure you check it out. But I posted that I bought around like 40-50K worth of Lulu and Ulta, which I'll go into a little bit here in a second as well. But also too, guys, if you are interested, and I don't like to bring up Discord a lot, but When it's available, I try to. We have a few spots available right now. I think it's 7 spots left to join. So if you're interested, make sure while they are there, people always ask when they can join. This is your opportunity. Once those fill up, no more opportunities there. So again, stocks I mentioned a lot, I'm liking as far as value, meaning stocks that have dipped that I think are undervalued right now. Number one, Lulu. I've gone heavily into this. I've gone over options I'm liking, things along those lines. A lot of support down here. You love to see what you're seeing down here as well. Also, too, I know I just went over the sponsor, guys, but I can't say this enough. I try not to like push sponsors down anyone's throats, but I've loved what's been happening with Moomoo and how they've been kind of pivoting with us and making a better options platform. You guys have been kind of like the testimonial there as well, because you guys have been loving it also. But again, Lulu, if I'm looking at Lulu's option wise, I like dated contracts here. I think that's where you find value. I like January contracts are a little bit more expensive, but again, I think that's where the value is. And I think Lulu could easily start moving back to the upside. You have earnings this week, so make sure you know that as well. I do like Lulu. I think you have room back into 360, possibly even 401, 400 flat. So that's what I'd be looking at locally there on Lulu. Going into Ulta, big fan there as well. I like Lulu a little bit more here. If I go to the daily chart here, see if you look at the weekly, it doesn't look as good. It looks like you got rejected and didn't hold that level. But if I go to the daily, things look a little bit more interesting. You get a false breakdown going into the beginning or last week, right? Going below, and you get a strong hold here at the end of the day here on Friday. If you can hold above this orange on your 200 weekly moving average, I am very bullish on Ulta. Now, if Ulta gets above 402, that's very strong confirmation where I think options can be the play. So I bought stock, but if you want to go to get above 402, I think options back into locally 421, 420, and then maybe even the 200 SMA on the daily was what I'd be looking for there. But I think Ulta is a very good play as well. They just had earnings recently. So again, I think it's a value play. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think the money-wise, juicy play. They just had earnings. They beat per usual. We look at names in that same field. Elf, for example, still doing very good as well. Bull flag, I think Elf can push back into all-time highs, but you look at Elf, you're still so close to being at those highs, right? Ulta, look at the pullback, right? This is what I was saying. When I see opportunity, I get excited. And so I try to always show you guys that opportunity I see across the board. Now, I just talked to you guys about NVIDIA and what's happening here. And we know NVIDIA's, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to be that dog, if you will, right? But I do want to say something here, right? ARM. If you want to trade NVIDIA's cheap cousin, remember, ARM was acquired. They were like a hair away from being acquired by NVIDIA before it got blocked, right? I think ARM is a value play, to say it over and over and over. If you want to trade shorter dated contracts, be my guest. Do what you got to do. I'd be looking more towards monthly contracts. I'm going to tell you that right now. So that's what I'd be looking at. It's like maybe July 19th, so almost 2 months out, around 45, 50 days out expiration. I'd be going closer in the money personally. Do what you want to do, but that's how I'd be trading these just to be safe. But I still think ARM, when I show you this chart, your eyes should light up like mine did. So your key level is right here, 115. So if we go to the 115, we'll go to the 4-hour chart here. And again, we're doing more technicals today on stocks that we're liking. But again, you see how the rejection, we're kind of getting a flat line there. And then look at this. You break above, you bull flag, you bounce off that level, you're pushing back up. Above 121.5, I love the upside into 130, possibly even 136.5 back into those highs up here. So again, ARM, I see value all across the board. You want to get back above these little lows before you broke down. So that's what you want to see there. I like ARM, value. Okay. I'm going to let you know that right now. Okay. I love what I'm seeing there. Again, another good, decent play there as well. But again, when I look at something like Ulta and Lulu, I just think like you can make money on all these two stock wise. I just want let that be known. A lot of people watching this, and some of you, it's hard for me to know some people's mindset, but even here, you get above 121, this is a mid cap here, right? That's still 12% of upside just straight shares of ownership. Now, you shouldn't always be looking for that 100, 200%. I still think there's value here. Also, too, guys, if you're looking for our indicators that we're using here as well for, the order blocks, key levels, etc., the link is down below for Lux algo code OD40 for 40% off your first purchase. So if you do a yearly membership with them, you get literally 40% off that purchase, and whatever sales you have going on as well, they do stack. So just know that. But again, lots of upside here. I want to like highlight that when I'm going over some of these names, when I'm saying they're undervalued here. Like even just back here into the 200 SMA on the weekly, 16%, back into the daily, 32%. I'm not saying you're gonna get that all in, one sitting, but you look at the opportunity there. Like I always say, the opportunity. I mean, dude, like, what are we talking about? Why are more people not talking about these setups here, right? Just back into the 200 here. It's 13% move, right? So this is why I'm getting excited about these plays, because I don't even have to have that much risk on the side of owning, crazy options or risking too much on the table. I just can invest in these companies and make that money potentially there as well. Again, I've gone over a lot of the value plays here, but going into this week, again, NVIDIA, AMD, AVGO are all names that I'm watching. AVGO got a nice dip here, guys. Very nice dip here into the end of the week. Okay, I'm a big fan of this one as well. You held your key level right here around 13.19 right there, right? Strong wicks. I do believe AVGO can start pushing back into 13.55. That's your big level. You got to get it back above like 13.70 to get bullish back to the upside, but into 13.55 looks really good as well. AMD, it's a stock that keeps giving, in my opinion. So if I go to something like the 1 hour, check this out as well. You basically been playing pinball in between 168.5 and 164. If you lose 164, it's been a really easy, like quick scalp to the downside. You drop quick. But above 164.5, you've been pushing back into 168.5 over. I mean, this has been an easy trade for the past 2 weeks, guys. So take advantage of what you want to take advantage of, right? But above 168.5, again, we're targeting back into 174.5. Okay. If you get back above 174.5, I think AMD is very, 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 very bullish, full bull at that point. So make sure you're watching that one as well. AMD contracts are obviously a lot cheaper than NVIDIA, so do what you want there as well. Apple. Last thing I'm going to mention here, guys. I don't want to keep you too long. Apple, big boy this week. You got WWDC coming up this week. And again, I don't want to speak for Apple. I don't want to speak for them. But their words, not mine, is that AI is their focus going into this meeting. Now, I don't really know what to believe with Apple because I feel like they've said this story a million times. So if Apple can just talk about AI and what they're doing with the new iOS 18 and moving this into the new iPhone, they run, in my opinion, into 196. With ease, as long as they cover that. Stop talking about AirPods and iPads and Apple rings. No one cares. Okay, that's what you got to talk about. You break above 162.8, 160 or 192.8, 193. You're pushing into 196.3. That's your next level. That's what I'm watching. Simple as that. Potato, bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. Right? That's what you're watching there. Okay. Some honorable mentions. Robinhood. Again, congratulations if you held this name. You're breaking out again. You look phenomenal. Look great. Can't really see anything else there. But yeah, so those are things I'm looking at. Those are my favorite stocks. If you guys have questions, comment down below. I'm going to try to keep you guys as updated as possible. Wanted to make a short little video going into today. But overall, still very, very happy with broad markets, how we're moving. I think you look great. I really do. Last thing, yeah, I know some of you are going to ask about Tesla. Tesla's holding at that like 175, 176 level. To get bullish here, though, in my opinion, guys, you're pushing in these like 188 levels. Get above 194. That's what you got to see. I post this on Twitter as well, but above 194, you're pushing into 212 most likely. If you get above 212, the 200 SMA, you have upside room. But until then, that's all you can really talk about right now. Don't hyper focus on these names. But again, focus on where the breakout potential gets you into and where you can really start making money. I don't really care about the $10 back and forth. I care about the big breakouts like we had with Netflix a few weeks ago, like we had with Meta a few weeks ago, like we've had with NVIDIA, with some of these other names, Robinhood, etc. Right? Enphase is still on my top list as well, so make sure you watch that one. But again, have a good one, traders. Happy Sunday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, traders.